Unit 2 Communication Skills. The topic is conceptual writing. So, there are three important points that we need to look at. Try not to over communicate, don't under communicate, and there is a method to the madness when writing testable concepts. So, these are the three important points that we are going to look at right now. First thing, try not to over communicate. So, what is over communicating? We always do. At least 99% of us, we do that when we are talking. We try and explain ourselves a lot. We don't have to. The reason is when you explain enough, that is actually enough. You don't have to over explain something. It doesn't actually change how the others perceive about a concept or a topic or what you're saying. And hence, don't over communicate anything. The balance is important. What is enough? We need to find out that line and stick to it. Don't write overly complicated or technical explanations before a product that can actually distract a consumer from the intention of your idea. So, when you see, to be honest about this topic, mystery attracts a consumer. If you actually look at it, magic, right? People love magic. When somebody brings an elephant inside the hall, right, just like that, that's magic. But when you actually find out how they do it, it doesn't interest them anymore. And that's how it works. We should be clear, but at the same time, don't explain too much. Don't over communicate. Don't under communicate as well. This is again a classic case of compensating for the previous point. Don't over communicate. So, okay, I won't over communicate. Now I'll just give this. Then it's under communicating. So, the balance is absolutely vital. We need to understand where the balance stands, where the line that needs to be drawn in terms of how much you communicate, how much you write. See, this could include presenting a functional benefit instead of pushing towards a more emotional one. Not providing enough description to consumers so they can see it and understand the idea, or shortcutting an explanation of how something works because your team already knows. That's an assumption that we will make. Be creatively succinct. Succinct is the key here, right? Short and clear. A method to madness when writing testable concepts. See, this is again something which we need to understand clearly. Whenever we are writing about a particular concept, and if there is an already existing concept parallel to it, try to utilize the same structure when it comes to writing about that concept, right? That way people can actually compare what you're offering and what already exists, right? And that way it makes a hell of a writing where the audience will be hooked because they can actually compare apple to apple and then find out which product is the best. And articulating the benefit is a art in itself. So there is a product or there is a consumable product that you are delivering in terms of writing. I mean, how do you do that, right? How do you articulate? You can do it in many ways, but we need to find the ideal way of doing that. That is something which we'll have to learn, and it is a skill. It's a learnable skill, and we'll have to do that. We'll always have to be succinct. Succinct is a key. We have been using this word in this topic a lot. Unless otherwise we are succinct here, viewers will lose interest. The readers will lose interest. And understand something. We need to understand the consumer, right? We need to understand for which words our consumers will react negatively. We should not use those words. This is something which comes from extensive reading. We'll have to understand which word affects you negatively, and we'll have to take a note of all these words and do not use it. Okay, the next subtopic that we are going to look at is gist. G-I-S-T. What's a gist? The gist of a book, the gist of a film, the gist in a speech, the gist in an article, right? So what are they? Right? What are they trying to tell us? Okay, the book, the film, the speech, the article, right, etc. What are they trying to tell us? What is the basic idea? What is the basic concept? That is gist. Don't confuse a gist with a summary. Summary is totally different. Okay, summary has the nuance of including all the bullet points, right? You can take a summary of a meeting, but what is the gist of a meeting? The gist of a meeting could be just one word or one sentence. Summary could be summary will always be more than that. The gist has a nuance of core meaning or the heart of the idea. Nothing more than that is a gist. So gist is something which will help us understand a lot of things when we listen to something. If we understand the gist, it's easier to go ahead, building the future information on that particular concept, on the particular topic. If we don't understand the gist, we won't be able to put it in our brain at some location and then use it in the future. So gist is absolutely vital. Conceptualizing your topic. How do we do that? See, conceptualization involves writing out clear, concise definitions for our topic. So, how do we do that? We have a framework, a flow of preparation for it. So, we have a set of questions here, and these are the questions that need to be answered for conceptualization. And only after that, we can go for development and assessment, and then finally the completion of the design, completion of the particular concept, realizing the concept, I mean. So what are the questions that we need to answer? What do you want to learn about? Right, that's the first question that you need to answer. Why are you interested in this? Basic questions. What are your feelings about this topic? What is already known about this topic? What questions remain unanswered? Right? We need to understand the difference between what is already known about this topic. What are the questions that remain unanswered? These are the two things that we need to be very particular about. And finally, what assumptions are you making when you ask these questions? So unless otherwise we answer these questions, we won't be able to conceptualize. Thank you.